Okay, panels. Corruption has taken a root and especially in our life and become a biggest a problem. We have to know that corruption is a must be eradicated in a very extraordinary way, like we have faced for our life and for because corruption is has efficacious for the people. Now, before I start about my speech here, let me see what kind of the speech from the OO, like the impoverished corruptor will be impoverished person and they will come an employee, so they will so the government will will get a burden to take care of the corruption. Now we have to know that the financial like they will be an employee. It's like that's the consequence for what they have done when they do the corruption. They have to think very carefully that we when they do it, when they do it the corruption, and obviously when we do the impoverished thing, it means that they will obviously they're full unemployed, but this goal is to make them regret and also to make them not repeat the same situation. And also the impoverishing means burden for them, so they will not take care about their family, and then also they all think that the how about they paying daily for their daily needs, and it will be obviously they will not do the corruption or they will do the petty crime. Let me tell you that the impose the corruption. It will make them like for more like regular people. They ask the amount of money that will take for the corruption. There is the camera rule of how so they we will take back for the money from that they stole. There are things that they we have to know. The empowerment is the for like the justification for them as they for what they have done. So it seems like it will be the detriment effect for them, especially for that one. And also, as such, the resulting from the corruption that they've taken, the asset of them is the from public money. So the government really have a right thing to take it back for the asset money for their soul and the amount of them. And also it can be a trigger for another corruption to not make them the corruption furthermore. And the very first place impoverishing is to make them like they regret and know and then they have to repeat for the same as for what they have done. But parents like the impoverishing or taking asset is the result from the corruption is some more effective and they can provide a deterrent punishment from the corruption. And it will make it we have to think like that what it has to be the good decision for the corruption, so the corruption will not do for the corruption will not do the same case as for the in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, as a for what the OO say like the OO for say like that one estimate like the unemployed we have, the corruption really need to think about what is the consequences as for what have done when they do the corruption. And it's really very important thing like to make them will know will know like they become like for the asset um they will take away from it. And also from the and also the public will have a they have a belief that the for another future corruptor they will not do the same thing for the what they for the what the ex from what the ex corruptor said like that one. So we really to think that this is a very good or very bad impact, and also we need to think about what is the good the bad effect if the only the rehabilitation or also the present thing that is the punishment for the corruption, it will not give the deterrent effect for them. Therefore in this kind of thing that the because of this kind of thing that empowerment will be the good effect for them as a justification for what they have. We have to think that corruption is a very crucial thing, and especially in this state. Therefore, from this at the very first place that this is the goal. The very goal is not to make them unemployed, but to make them like regular person. I don't believe that if they will the person that they will just just like they will get a poverty, that their family will not get a side effect. I'm sure that to make them regret is to not make them like to do it the power to do any the corruption. Therefore, like they want to make the petty crime, we will the government will not only just uh just just take away from them, but but the government will think another possible way to make them really to make them to realize them that this is not very well that what they have to do done with it. So um and the very first was that we have to think like the thing that this is uh so as an active way for them as is the consequence for them. Therefore, that I would like to state that this is a very different effect for them, especially for the corruption in Indonesia. We will need to think that it is a very important, especially the corruption when they'll do need some kind of effect that one. And it's very frustrated as for this is to get the effect and also for the threat effect for the impoverishing. So I believe that we really need to really consider about impoverishing the character, so they really really have a impact for their life. So they will think twice about not to do it, not to do it, and not to. And this one is will not enrich to not make enrichment as well for the wealth of the public is to the justification. Therefore, that will this the prevent corruption is the more like we have to do in publishing we have to check back for what the public money that amount of money that they got from that one. So we can do and also we can do and this one we are proud to state that we are proud to state. Thank you.
Right, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm from the government whip, and I would like to summarize all the points from my allies from my sides that they have stated. So, first of all, let me start from summarizing the point from my prime minister. So, our prime minister just stated that strengthen our side that we are completely agree that this house will impoverish the corruptors. And why? Because these corruptors already took a huge amount, billion, trillion money from our country, and of course they have to be punished with fine and being taken from their assets like that. And this is as the consequences from what they have done. And for the amounts of here, our prime minister just stated there's around 150% from what they have stolen. And by this way, this will also compensate the nation and to take not until they cannot feed themselves. For the status, why do we have to apply this system, to apply this punishment? Why? Because the previous punishment for corruptors is not strong enough. Why? Because see, the proof is there are still those corruptors who have finished their limit of punishment. They have got out from jail, but they became the recidivists. They did the same mistake again. And it's already a public secret that while during the jail time, they are not actually in jail. They could still get out to find some food like that, restaurants, and they got facilities that maybe poor people out there does not being able to achieve that, like having Netflix and fitness facilities in the corruptors jails like that. So that's why the status quo over here that we have to put a stronger punishment for the corruptors. And then I'm moving to the points from our deputy of prime minister over here, that if the opposition side really care about the impact from the media, the impact that may cost may being faced by the families, by the wife, by the children from the corruptors themselves, well, this is as the consequences of what they have done. And to make the corruptors realize their mistake more clearly, so we should place them in a hard situation. So it's like, for those who have chances to do the same mistake in the future, will think furthermore that maybe previously from the previous application they just gonna impact themselves, but for this situation they're not just gonna impact themselves, but they also gonna impact the family, the children, and the wife. Maybe by thinking this way, people will be more aware of doing this kind of crime like that. And being taken over here from our Deputy Prime Minister, she also state that leaving money to corruptors is just the same like letting them live happily. And in the same way, corruptors, by doing their crimes, are impacting the citizens as well, and they deserve for being impoverished. They deserve if we as the government impoverish them as well, like that. And next, from the point from our member of government, and this eradication of corruption is in the hard way is the solution to make them realize, yeah, just the same like the previous points that but were strength were make it stronger over here, that to make them afraid for what they did as the consequences, like that. And all of this bad impact is the winning point from us. Why? Because the more bad impact that may being faced by the corruptors, it means that the more aware they should be to do this kind of bad, this unworthy deeds like that. And this kind of punishment will make the crime, the corruptors outer to be more regretful for what they have done. No need to tolerate them. The more we tolerate them, the more far away we from solving this problem. If we keep tolerating them, it's just the same. Like we're not going to solve this problem ever, because we keep giving them a space to breath for what they have done. So I think that's all for me. Thank you.